Frank Castle is back again in the world to come, and he has a major axe to grind with a brand new cutting-edge street drug. But what happens when the Punisher ends up coming face to face with a cartel enforcer who might be his equal? Well, let's hop into the pages of Marvel Knights Punisher issue number 1 and find out what happens next together, shall we? Now, hopping into this brand new issue, you might be wondering to yourself, wait, is this connected to that Black Panther World to Come book? Do I need to actually know what's going on in that book to get this? Short answer, no. This one takes place 25 years in the past. Though I can understand you may be feeling a little thrown off anyway, as the Punisher is shown here to be older than he has in just about anything. And I mean, it makes sense. Marvel Knights originally showcased a Punisher who was a lot older than most of his superhero contemporaries, and then Punisher Max, everyone's favorite, made him even older, in his late to mid 50s, as to keep his Vietnam origin. So yeah, sure, why not just push that dial even further? The gray looks good on Frank. Now, as we join the book proper, the Punisher is interrogating some cartel goons, and by interrogate, I mean dropping them into a giant industrial wheat thresher, making damn sure that there won't even be enough of these guys left to bury when everything is said and done. Eventually, Frank gets the lead he was looking for on the cartel boss, a man by the name of Armando. Armando owns a penthouse in the city, and Frank makes tracks to there right now, though currently Armando isn't home. Instead, it's one of his lieutenants, a guy who gets visited by a couple of working girls who say that they're a reward for a job well done, though eventually we realize that these aren't your regular ladies of the night. They've actually been hired to set this lieutenant up, dousing him with a brand new designer narcotic called Zombie, or Z for short, which I find kind of hilarious because zombie is the street name for Zappa clones. If you know, you know. Now, you might be wondering to yourself, geez, why does the Marvel Knight book have to deal in a fictional drug when the new Red Band Punisher book that came out literally had him dealing with fentanyl? Well, it does make sense. You see, Zombie not only offers a very powerful high, but it also makes you highly susceptible to suggestion. Don't know why you would want to use that to get high, but hey, drug culture is its own thing now, isn't it? The Punisher shows up just in enough time to see this lieutenant taking a major header off the penthouse balcony. Though thankfully, the Punisher is able to rifle through the dead guy's phone and effects and find out when the next big zombie shipment is coming in. The question remains, though, why would Armando go out of his way to kill one of his own guys? Well, as we learned from some very colorful and unique FBI agents, apparently this lieutenant had actually turned state's evidence and was informing on Armando. With their number one source of information, Street Pizza, this investigation looks like it might be dead in the water. Unless they can embed someone in the cartel's organization, and soon, worse still, if this lieutenant was killed for leaking secrets, that means that the FBI themselves probably has a pretty high-profile double agent feeding information back to the cartel, as we learn via this other character, Howard. Keep him in mind because he will actually end up being important later on. Now, back with the Punisher, he works his way over to the docks where he sees a ship unloading the crates of Zombie. The security here is pretty tight, but thankfully the Punisher always comes prepared, in this case deciding to soften up the grunts with a rocket launcher before moving in on foot himself. And hey, can we talk about his new costume for a minute? I really like it. For my money, it's the best kind of simplistic. It cuts this beautiful silhouette, and I love that the armored plates on the Punisher make up the actual skull. Hats off to the art team on this one too. The fight choreography is really great. It's fast, it's brutal, but it also has this beautiful sense of motion and continuity between the panels that I love a whole lot. Now, at first you might be thinking to yourself, cutting down 100 cartel guards is a little too easy for the Punisher, and you would be right. It seems that Armando has a secret weapon in the form of a super enforcer who goes by the name El Zombie, which must really be confusing when you're working for this guy's organization. Alright, take El Zombie and go move the zombie. Oh geez, Heffy, I don't know, you mean El Zombie the guy or El Zombie the drugs? Either way, this guy proves to be more than a match for Frank. Maybe it's because he has meta powers, maybe it's because he's just that much younger, maybe it's because the cartel goons end up hitting Frank with blow darts. No, really, blow darts. All these powerful automatic weapons, and the thing that ends up doing the Punisher in is a blow dart. Our hero passes out, and when he comes to, he's the prisoner of Armando. He's locked him up in his basement, and you might be wondering why he just didn't go out of his way to kill him when he had the chance. Well, surprise, surprise, but it turns out one of the guys that Punisher killed just so happened to be Armando's son Manny, and because of that, he wants to go above and beyond to not just kill the Punisher, but completely break and destroy him by dosing him with so much zombie he ends up completely losing all sense of self, and becomes an unwitting tool for the the cartel, and oh man, if I had a nickel for every time a new Punisher series decided to brainwash Frank and turn him into a weapon of a supervillainous organization, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but weird that it happened twice and so close together. To Frank's credit, he's a hard nut to crack and ends up holding out against the torture and the zombie druggings for at least over 100 days. It's also not just Armando himself who hates the Punisher. His wife isn't exactly a huge fan either, and as soon as he leaves, she takes the opportunity to go down to the basement and work Frank over with brass knuckles. And, because this is Marvel Knights and we can be a little sexier, she is sure to do so in a see-through bathing suit, because yeah, why not? What is proper torture attire at the end of the day, I ask you? Now, as the comic comes to a close, we check back on in with Howard, that guy who was talking to the head of the FBI task force earlier on in the issue. Him and his family are sitting down to dinner, only for everyone, children included, to be absolutely torn to shreds by minigun fire. Now, who is responsible for this attack? Well, El Zombie, of course, but no, not the El Zombie from before, the new El Zombie, aka a brainwashed Frank Castle who didn't think to change out of his costume. Now, that's just gonna create even more confusion in the workplace. And so that was Marvel Knights Punisher issue number 1, everyone, and ultimately I thought it was pretty darn good. Perhaps the worst thing I can say about it is that it really is super similar to the Benjamin Percy Punisher Red Band book that came out only a couple weeks ago. Like, so close in some regards, I have to wonder if I would actually have liked this issue more if I didn't read the other one previously. Now, this book actually comes to us courtesy of Jimmy Palmiotti, who was of course one of the original architects of the first Marvel Knights all the way back in the day, so it makes a lot of sense for him to be tapped for this book. He does well with the gritty, hard-bitten Frank Castle material, and the art is suitably moody, bloody, and grimy to match. The Marvel Knights imprint was of course famous back in the day for pushing the boundaries of what was acceptable in superhero comics by being a lot more adult than your average comics at the time. This one is also suitably more, and you're gonna have to pardon the pun on this one, frank when it comes to subjects of drugs, violence, and sexuality, though again I have to wonder if in a day and age when there is a Red Band Punisher book on the shelf that does more or less the same things, is harder content as much of a selling point as it used to be. This is a lot more of a straightforward actioner, which there's certainly nothing wrong with. It's nice to kind of ease our way back into the world of Marvel Knights Punisher. I just hope the next couple issues actually do delve into some character work. I'd like to see what makes this older Punisher tick even all these years later. Overall, I'd give this one a 7 out of 10. Pretty good. Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me and the channel. So with that out of the way everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.